Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is supposed to be another episode of Crafting Mondays. It is in fact Monday today, but as I was saying in my last video, I'm a healthcare worker in the UK at the minute, and it's the middle of the coronavirus outbreak here. So whether I actually get this uploaded today is a separate matter. Could end up being a Crafting Tuesdays video. Anyway, so it's been about 2 weeks since my last video, and I apologise for that. But what we've been up to in this time is I've been doing a decoupage of napkins for this photo frame. So I don't know if you remember my other videos, it was quite a badly painted acrylic frame. I just got some napkins from the shop and used the Modge Podge, and over a couple of days I've done this. Also added some gold detailing here and along the inside of the frame edge, as you can see. It's all pretty much all stuff that you'll have at home already. You might have to order some Modge Podge in, but it shouldn't be something that you're having to go out and search for things to make it with. It'll really keep you occupied. I think it's a really nice addition to the room, creates something completely unique, and obviously there's napkin designs are everywhere. It was really easy to do, really quick to make once I actually got going, and hopefully it'll give you something to keep you occupied during this lockdown period. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so just gathering everything you need for this project. So obviously I'm using a frame. I've got a hard bristled brush, a soft bristled brush, my Modge Podge, and obviously my napkins. Of course, you can choose whatever design of napkin that you want. First step is to give your surface, so in my case the frame, a good clean. So I'm using a brush and making sure it's nice and dust free. If there's any sort of grease or anything on it, you're going to need to get rid of that before you start, otherwise you're going to get a really poor quality finish. Okay, step 2, you need to prepare your napkins. If you put them into smaller pieces, they'll work around the contours of your surface much better. I left the white underlayer on because I wanted more opacity, but you'll probably get a smoother finish if you take the white underlayer off your napkins, but otherwise you have to be careful to make sure that it's a nice clean cut when you're tearing them. Step 3. So I'll just show you what I'm doing here. So obviously getting the Modge Podge ready, you've got to give it a good stir beforehand, and then just using your brushes to apply it to a small area of your surface. It does dry quite quickly, so you've got to work quite quick, and kind of doing small sections at a time is better really. Try and get a nice thin smooth layer of the Modge Podge onto your surface. Then you select your napkin piece, pop it where you want it, and then again, so you're putting some more Podge Podge over the top of your napkin piece. Trying to iron out as many air bubbles as you can, and really try and work it into the contours of the piece that you're working on. And then you can just start to layer it up, so just getting another piece, slightly overlap it onto the first. Just make sure there's no extra white bits, I'm just pulling a bit off there. And again, just using the Modge Podge and the brush just to work it into the contours of the piece that you're working on. As the napkins get damper, they do become a bit more flexible and a bit more pliable than obviously they would be otherwise. But I think for the corner I did have to just tear a little bit so I could bend it round, and then blended it in from that point. You can see my brush is getting a bit blue. This is, as I said, I painted this frame with acrylic paint previously. It turns out Modge Podge melts away at acrylic, so bear that in mind. Just getting that fold around the corner, making sure it's nice and neat. And now I've done that little section, I'll move on to Mod Podging some more of the frame. And again, the process just repeats itself. So finding another piece and then overlapping that onto the previous two. If you've got any gaps, you can obviously just tear off some smaller pieces of tissue paper and just plug those gaps, but try to keep it reasonably consistent. There we go, so you can see it taking shape now, just from another angle, so you can see in a bit more detail. So same process, just applying more of the Mod Podge to the frame. I found it's quite easy just to use a slightly thicker bristle brush for this, but it doesn't really matter. And again, decide where you want the tissue to go, and then really start to just work in with the brush, getting all those air bubbles out. I would say it's important to have a relatively soft bristled brush for actually kind of rubbing the Mod Podge into the napkin, because the napkins obviously are quite delicate, you don't want to damage those as well. Step 4. So I decided to add a bit of extra gold detailing on mine, gold ink and gold nib pen, probably a bit over the top. And that's everything. So hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it gives you some food for thought about things you can make in your own home, bits of upcycling and craft that you can do with things you already have in the home, and because obviously we're all a bit limited as to what we can go out and actually buy at the minute. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll get a new crafting windows video out when I next can. See you next time. Bye.